Hey guys, Liz here with an SLC short. Have you seen our video on setting line 20 and 24 snaps? We had some questions that came in from that video, and we'd like to answer those questions as well as share a couple of tips and tricks with you guys. So we're going to be going over how to choose the correct post length for your project, talking about material thickness and the firmness of the materials that you're using, what's the right hole size to use for the line or for the size of snap that you're setting, how you can mix and match the posts and caps for your specific project, wallering it out, making the thickness of your leather work for the size post that you have if necessary, and then also how you can use leather washers to increase the thickness that you have to make your snap work. So let's get into it. So let's talk about our links. Here we have our line 20 sets. Here on the left-hand side, we've got our shorts. So this is our short post and our short cap. Both of these have approximately a 5/32 inch post. So that is something just to keep in mind for whenever you are choosing the hardware for your project. And then here we have our standard length cap and post, which is a 7/32 inch post. So just about a 1/16 of an inch difference here between our shorts and our standard length posts. And then on to the line 24s. For our short post length line 24 option, we are at about 1/4 of an inch long post. And then on our standard length option, these are about a 5/16. So once again, about a 1/16 of an inch difference here between your shorts and your longs, or your standard size. So why does that matter? So you want to choose the correct length post for your project, because if the post length is not where it should be, your set will not be correct. So if the post is too long and you try to set the snap, you can have your socket or your stud end up offset from your cap and your post. So here we have the post side of the snap with the stud. As you can see, you have a lot of post coming out through the stud here. So this one just sets flat on the granite. You don't need an anvil on this one. We've got our line 24 snap setter. As you can see, we've got the the stud going this way, and then the post is going that way. And you can really see it here. Inside, you should just be able to see all the way through. There should be a hole all the way through, and we've got metal in there. So we do not have a vertical set. We are offset. Now, will this hold? Possibly. We can try it out here. I have set the cap side over here, but it is not in line and it is not ideal. And especially if you're trying to set this on a strap where you have a very finite amount of space, on each side, having an offset top and bottom, you can really see that right there. You can see how much farther over here that post is from the stud. So having that offset is just really, it's not ideal, and it doesn't make for a very clean set. Now this one is holding all right, but it's not ideal. How do we alleviate that? Well, first of all, if you only have a long post, line 24, you can take it, if you've got a grinder, you can take it to your grinder and you can take off some length. You want to hold it in the pliers because it'll burn your finger because it's going to get really hot, but you can kind of grind off some of that post length. If you do not have that capability and your project will allow for it, you could use a washer. So instead of grinding off length, we can just add material. So if we take our washer here, we'll put it on the back side, put our post through again. Now we have just the right amount. So we're going to take our other stud, put it right there. And you see how there's maybe about somewhere between an 1/8 of an inch and a 1/16 of an inch coming out from the stud. That is really ideal. You just need enough for that to mushroom around and grip the stud or the socket, whichever way you're setting. couple hard hits there, and you've got a perfectly good mushroom that we can see through. You guys see the light back here? Look at that. There's my finger. That's what you want. You don't want this one right here where you can't see through that hole anymore. This is ideal. So really you just want, like I said, about a 1/16 of an inch to an 1/8 of an inch sticking out through that hole in order just to get, you just want that post to start to mushroom out and grip onto the other side of the snap. So that is ideal. So washers work really well. What I did here is it's just slightly larger than my snap size. So I have a 5/8 inch post. I use the same size hole punch that I used for the hole in my leather to go through that. Speaking of holes, let's see how we can get the right size holes for the snap that you're using. So what I do, snaps are pretty standard if you're using, no matter if you bought them from us, Weaver, Tandy, wherever you got your line 20s or 24s, they should have the same size posts. But if you are curious, or if you're working with, say, a Sigma snap or a different style of snap, what you can do is you can take the hole punch that you have, or the set of hole punches that you have, and you can just put it over the post. You don't want too much room here. You want it to be a decently snug fit. The thicker and firmer the material that you have, the more exact you will need that hole to be. So if you're working with 8 to 9 ounce veg tan, that hole isn't going to stretch a lot for you. So you are going to need that hole to be pretty much the exact size as your post. So for the line 24s, I've been using a 3/16 punch. For my line 20s, that just pops right over that post, we've been using an 1/8 inch punch. So he just goes right over, and there's not a lot of wiggle room there. So 1/8 inch on your line 20s and a 3/16 on your line 24s. So ideally, whenever you do punch a hole in your material for your snap, you really want the tightest fit that you can get over that post. If you have a hole that's much too large, that will encourage the post to want to bend on you while setting, if you have a lot of wiggle room in that hole. So the thinner or the stretchier the material you have, the tighter you can make that hole. So you could downsize a little bit and then stretch the material over the post, and that will give you the most secure set without any wiggle room, which is what you want to avoid. That is how to make the best decision between a line 20 and a line 24, and also getting the best set possible, because you don't want that snap coming apart on your customer whenever they get their project. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever it is that you get your social. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.